I wanted to make a quick video to explain how polar coordinates are not unique. So here's a polar graph with three different points. Let's first focus on coordinate A. The typical way to describe the coordinates at point A would be using its radius, which is 6. If you count out, it's 6 circles away from the center. And then its angle, which is 60 degrees, measured counterclockwise from the positive x-axis. However, you could also be a little strange and instead describe it as 6 comma 420 degrees, since an angle of 420 degrees would wrap all the way around the x-axis, 360 degrees plus a little extra. Meanwhile, point B, the typical way to describe that coordinate would be a radius of 2 and then an angle of 170 degrees, again measured counterclockwise from the positive x-axis. However, if you wanted to use a negative angle, you could come backwards 190 degrees, and you'd still end up at point B. It's the same. Meanwhile, if we look at C in blue, because I can't find purple, C has a radius of 8. So the typical way to describe that coordinate would be 8, comma, and the angle is 260 degrees. However, you could also describe it with a negative radius. So when we think about a negative radius, the way to think about it is a positive 8 is on the positive x-axis, while a negative 8 is actually moving out along the negative x-axis. So we're starting over here, and then we're wrapping counterclockwise, assuming we want to use a positive angle to end up at point C. And the distance that I would have to wrap along from negative 8 all the way to point C is just going to be 80 degrees. So that's yet another way that I could describe the coordinates of point C. Now, it's important to know that the first way that I described each one of these coordinates with a positive radius and a positive angle, with that angle being less than 360 degrees, is the standard way to describe a polar coordinate. However, the idea of a negative radius, while it's kind of a strange way to think about things, since we're used to thinking about distance as being positive, actually has some really nice applications. So it's useful now, as you're getting into things, to also think about how you might be able to describe a point with a negative radius so that when it comes up later, it isn't so confusing. Okay, hope you enjoyed the video.